Good evening, I'm Keisha Butts with a CTV News update. Many Marylanders are concerned that they or a loved one could still get sick from the coronavirus, according to a new Goucher poll. And nearly half of all Maryland residents have experienced financial hardship since the pandemic began. The poll surveyed just over 1,000 residents between September 30th and October 4th. It mirrors what many lawmakers have been hearing from residents throughout the state. Delegate Jocelyn Pena-Melnick says Prince George's County has been hit hard with the highest number of COVID-19 cases statewide.
The zip code with the highest number of COVID cases is actually 20783, which has like 3,000 cases. And that's the immigrant community, Latino community, which is the Hyattsville, Langley Park, Adelphi, and Chilham area. So this is real for us. And it's an issue that we as a legislature will be dealing with a lot of the health disparities in the Black and Latino community, because it's not just having access, to healthcare, which we can discuss that, and we're going to be working on that. But it's also the way people live, not having affordable housing, not making enough money, being, Black and brown. We are essential workers as well. It's the environment we live in, all those social determinants of health. So as a legislature, those are bills that we're going to be looking at coming up in 2021.
The Goucher poll also says that regardless of political ideology, skepticism about a potential vaccine is high across the state. As health experts express concerns about a potential second wave of the coronavirus, Maryland reports 482 new cases and 9 deaths today. Officials confirm that more than 132,000 Marylanders have contracted the virus. Here in Prince George's County, more than 30,000 people have tested positive for COVID-19. Statewide, nearly 3,900 people have died from the deadly disease. County Executive Angela Alsabrook is reminding everyone that today is the last day to register to vote. Alsabrook is urging all Prince George's County residents to vote by mail. You have until October 23rd to request a mail-in ballot. She says it's the safest way to vote because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Start making your plan to vote today. If your plan is to vote by mail, make sure you request your mail-in ballot immediately. If you plan to vote in person on Election Day, remember as well that we will have those vote centers located around the county for you to vote on Election Day. There will be 42 of them for you to vote, 11 early voting locations beginning October 26th through November 2nd. So we want you to make that plan today.
There are currently 22 ballot drop boxes available throughout the county. Questioning got underway today on the confirmation of Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the U.S. Supreme Court. Senate Judiciary Committee members questioned Barrett about any possible election-related litigation involving President Trump. Barrett wouldn't say if she'd recuse herself from election cases. She also wouldn't comment on whether Trump has the power to delay the election or if she'd rule against abortion. The conservative was nominated by President Donald Trump last month to replace the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The Prince George's County school system is on track to become the first district in the nation to use private dollars to build public schools. The county council was briefed on the plan today. Byron Scott has our story.
I'm Byron Scott. School construction on the agenda at Prince George's County Council today. Schools CEO Dr. Monica Golson and other school officials briefed the council on the district's proposed plan to build 6 new middle schools using private dollars to do so. The public-private plan, or P3, has the support of county leaders. Under the plan, the private firm would build the 6 schools and maintain them for 30 years. It would cost taxpayers $1.24 billion. County leaders say they cannot afford to build the schools without a P3 agreement, but opponents say the plan is too costly and too risky, especially during a pandemic. The school board is expected to vote on the measure next week. I'm Byron Scott.
Prince George's police are investigating a murder in Hillcrest Heights. It happened around 12:30 this morning on the 3600 block of Parkway Terrace just off Suitland Parkway. Police were called to the scene on the report of a shooting. The male victim was found inside a car. Police say he had been shot to death. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Greenbelt police are investigating a suspicious death. Police say it was just before 5 o'clock Sunday night when someone spotted the body of a man in a wooded area across from the 5800 block of Cherrywood Lane. Police say there were no signs of a struggle. The man, who police say appears to be in his mid-20s, has not been identified yet. Police are awaiting the results of an autopsy. A Bethesda student is now a new National Advisory Board member of Students Demand Action, a gun violence prevention group. Meet Jeannie Shee, a senior at Walt Whitman High. She joined Students Demand Action and then started a chapter at her school about a year ago. She has lobbied in Annapolis for the passage of gun violence prevention bills. She also hosted an event called Orange Ribbons for Parkland to remember the victims who were killed at a Florida high school in 2018. She became active after a mass shooting at her father's workplace in Virginia Beach in 2019.
I'm so grateful that my dad did come home safely that night because 12 other people did not. Still so hard for me to wrap my mind around the fact that my dad had just gone to work like it was a regular regular Friday morning. I had just gone to school like it was a regular Friday morning. And the world seemed so normal and so routine.
As a new member, she says she wants to improve diversity and inclusion in the organization. A convicted felon faces more jail time following the discovery of illegal weapons and stolen motorcycles at his business in Beltsville. As we reported last week, 30-year-old Herman Guzman has been charged with 29 counts of weapons and vehicle theft charges. Investigators found stolen motorcycles and other vehicles at his auto repair shop. Police also uncovered several rounds of ammunition and an AR-15 rifle.
That shop had previously been the subject of a search warrant back in 2019, so that had put it on our radar. We'd recovered multiple stolen vehicles from the shop at that time. And then through a combination of surveillance, just watching the shop, and other investigative techniques, we were able to determine that there was ongoing criminal activity at the location. We were there primarily focused on motor vehicle theft and motor vehicle related crimes, and stumbled upon the gun angle of this.
Police say the stolen vehicles were taken from several jurisdictions, including Howard, Charles, Calvert, and Prince George's counties. AAA is warning motorists and pedestrians alike about traffic hazards on Route 210. AAA says pedestrian fatalities on the roadway are up 150% so far this year. The Auto Club says Prince George's had the highest pedestrian fatality rate in the region last year with 30 deaths. October is National Pedestrian Safety Month. Volunteers loaded cars with food for families in need in Hyattsville this morning. The Stand Up and Deliver program, along with the St. Mark's Food Pantry, gave out about 400 boxes of food today. Organizers say families were given 2 boxes of meals at the St. Mark Parish.
Before the COVID-19 pandemic, we were serving about 80 families a week. We are now serving over 400 families per week, and the demand continues to grow. It's heartbreaking and overwhelming, the response that we had from donations from the Capital Area Food Bank, Prince George's County, and hundreds of individual donations.
For more information on how to donate to the St. Mark's Food Pantry, visit the group's GoFundMe page. The Holiday Inn in Greenbelt is sold at a foreclosure auction for $7.7 million after its owner fell behind on a $10 million refinance loan. Representatives for the property's lender cast the winning bid after moving to foreclose on the 206-room hotel in the 7200 block of Hanover Drive. The Holiday Inn is the second notable property in the region to sell at auction, as fallout from the pandemic continues to impact commercial real estate as well as the hospitality and retail sectors. This evening, you can look up to see something special in the sky. Tonight, Mars and the Sun will line up on direct opposite sides of Earth. Mars will rise in the east just as the sun sets in the west. If you stay up the entire night, Mars will then sit in the west as the sun rises in the east. Since Mars and the sun appear on opposite sides of the sky, it's called Mars in opposition. The event happens every 26 months. Back in 2003, the opposition was the closest approach in nearly 60,000 years. That record will stand until the year 2087. Grab your bathing suit and underwater goggles. A few indoor pools are opening back up in the county. Fairland and the Sports and Learning Complex opened yesterday. Before you head to the pool, you will need to RSVP. You can only book one swim session per household, no more than 3 days a week. Social distancing and masks are required in the facility. For a complete list of pool locations, visit pgparks.com. Let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 47 degrees. Wednesday and Thursday, sunny with daytime temps around near the mid-70s and an evening low in the mid-50s. Friday, partly sunny with a chance of rain in the morning. Temps reach a high near 62 degrees and drop to a low of 43. And now for the community calendar. The Prince George's County Boys and Girls Club is making this Halloween a celebration to remember. Bring your little ghouls and ghosts out to enjoy trunk or treat and movie night. There will also be a contest with prizes for the best trunk decorations and best costume. Pre-packaged candy will be handed out to participants. Costumes are encouraged and masks are required. The event is Saturday, October 31st from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Boys and Girls Sports Park in Bowie. For tickets and more information, visit Eventbrite and search BGC Movie Night at the park. And that wraps up our CTV News update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Have a good night.